All right, let's talk about a word we use every single day. Life. Seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? But what if I told you that in one of the most influential texts ever written, the word life doesn't just mean one thing. It actually means three. So that's the big question we're diving into. When the authors of the New Testament wrote about life, what were they really getting at? I think you'll find the answer is way more complex and honestly way more fascinating than you might think. And here it is. This is the key. While we get by with our one-word life, the original Greek writers had three distinct words to choose from: bios, psyche, and zoe. And understanding the difference between them, well, it changes everything. This is what we're going to unpack. So let's do it. Let's explore these three words. We're going to peel back the layers on each one, and you'll see how they build on each other to create this incredibly rich picture of what it means to be alive. Okay, first up we have bios. This is probably the one that comes to mind for most of us. It's our physical, biological, day-to-day existence. You know, the tangible stuff, your job, your routine, your possessions, your livelihood. It's life on the material plane. And you can see exactly how it's used right here in this verse from Luke. The life that chokes the seed, that's bios. It's the worldly stuff, the worries, the money, the pleasures, that can so easily get in the way. It's all about our daily circumstances.
You know, a really good way to think about it today is this. Bios is your resume life. It's your job title, where you live, the car you drive, the daily grind. It's all the external, measurable stuff you could list on a piece of paper.
Next we go a level deeper with psyche. If bios was all about the external, psyche is the internal. This is the very essence of a person, what we often translate as the soul. It's the home of your emotions, your personality, your will. It's the spark that makes you, you. This famous verse from Matthew is the perfect example. See, when it talks about saving or losing your life here, it's not talking about your job or your possessions. It's talking about yourself, your ego, your very soul. It's about a deep personal choice, a kind of psychological sacrifice. So, if bios is your resume life, then psyche, that's your inner life. It's all your unique quirks, your feelings, your hopes, your fears. It's the rich, messy, beautiful internal world that makes you who you are. And that brings us to the third and final word, zoe. And this one is in a whole different category. Zoe isn't just about human existence, external or internal. It's life in the absolute sense. It's divine, eternal, spiritual, abundant life that flows from a source outside of ourselves, from God. Just look at how it's used in this famous line from the Gospel of John. The promise isn't for a better career, that's bios. Or even just a healthier personality, that's psyche. The promise is zoe life, a quality of existence that's described as abundant, overflowing, eternal. So to finish off our analogy, zoe is connected life. It's a life that finds its ultimate purpose and meaning not from your circumstances or even from within yourself, but from being plugged into a divine, eternal source. Okay, so three words. Cool bit of trivia, right? But why does it really matter? Well, it's not just trivia. This distinction is absolutely crucial because the New Testament writers didn't treat these words equally. They put a massive, massive emphasis on one of them in particular.
And this is where the data just blows the lid off the whole thing. Take a look. Bios, our physical life, shows up only about 10 times. Psyche, the inner life, over 100 times. That's significant. But zoe, it's used more than any of them, around 135 times. In ancient texts, that kind of frequency is like a giant flashing neon sign.
Over 135 times. Just let that sink in. The writers, and especially the Apostle John, come back to this idea of zoe again and again and again. It's clearly not just one idea among many. It's the central idea. It's the core of what it means to be truly, fully alive.
Now let's put it all together. This is the fun part. We're going to take everything we've just learned and use it to unlock a super famous passage. This is where you get that aha moment, where it all just clicks.
So let's look at the very beginning of the Gospel of John. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Now with our new decoder ring, we can see the author made a powerful, deliberate choice. He didn't just say life. He specifically used the word zoe, and he used it twice, back to back for emphasis.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Just imagine for a second, what if he hadn't? What if the author had chosen bios or psyche instead? How would that change the entire meaning of one of the most important sentences ever written?
Well, look at this. The difference is staggering.
If the text said in him was bios, it just means Jesus can help you with your stuff, your earthly needs. If it said in him was psyche, it means he's like a great therapist, he enhances your personality. But it says in him was Zoe. The message is that Jesus is divine, eternal life itself. He doesn't just improve your life, he is the source of all life.
So you see the journey we've been on. We started with bios, which is just life as survival. Then we moved up to psyche, life as our inner self. And we finally arrived at Zoe, which is life as a profound divine connection. It's a progression, really, from mere existence to personal identity, and finally to ultimate purpose.
And that kind of leaves us with this final big question. Just knowing these 3 layers hidden inside one simple English word completely transforms how we read the text. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other big ideas in history, in philosophy, even in our own lives, are we only seeing in one dimension? What other incredible depths are just waiting to be discovered?